How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Okay, my royal family, I know some of y'all wondering why I got the title that I got there. There's always a reason why I do what I do. And when I looked deeper into this, I was like, I gotta keep it core. You dumb bitch. That's the only way I can put it. So, we're gonna get into this. I got a few videos to play, and at the end, I have some articles that I'm going to pick apart, and I'm going to point out the core of what's really going on, and why I said what I said, and why people like her will never fucking get it. Oh, wait a minute, my royal family. This video, let me get it straight. What is it like to be the target of racist incidents on campus? May 16th, 2017.
At 21, Taylor Dumpston is an American first. The first black woman to be elected student government president at the American University in Washington, D.C.
I fell to the floor and it was so emotional.
That euphoric feeling crushed just a day after she took office when these showed up on campus. Bananas hung with nooses scrawled with the name of a gorilla and the letters of the historically black sorority Dumpston belongs to.
First, as a student, I'm hurt. As a member of the organization, I'm appalled. But as the target of a hate crime, I'm numb.
The threats only grew. Suddenly, a known neo-Nazi group began targeting her online.
The guy behind it called for a choreographed campaign to intimidate and terrorize the head of the student body. We've seen white supremacists try to recruit on college campuses for years. But what's different today is there has been a velocity and a volume of these efforts that we've really never seen before.
The ADL blames groups like American Vanguard, Identity Europa, and American Renaissance for stirring racist sentiments on campus.
First of all, I completely reject the term white supremacy. I simply want the opportunity for my people, people of European origin, to be left alone so that we can pursue our own destiny.
We met up with Jared Taylor, the head of American Renaissance.
Do you think recruitment is going well?
Yes.
When it comes to young people?
I am constantly impressed by the number of young people who are completely wide awake on the subject of race, who are not bamboozled and intimidated by all of this nonsense of diversity being our strength.
Taylor says he wants to live in an all-white world separate from other races.
Are you racist?
I'm not racist. Whatever racist means, it is a pejorative term that means whatever you think is somehow immoral or wrong. I reject that idea completely.
Well, I think it's wrong that you think that someone like me is less intelligent just by my very nature of being black or brown.
Oh, come on. You are an individual. You may be smarter than most white people on earth.
I know, but overall you're saying that my race is less intelligent than yours.
And my race, on average, is less intelligent than Asians. Is that a hateful thing to say? It's where the science leads me, and I have to follow the data. I have no choice.
It's junk science. Just not believable.
What Taylor seems to fear the most, the day people of color outnumber whites in America.
If whites do nothing, they will be reduced to a minority in which their culture is a sideshow and which they themselves will be considered a despised group who did everything bad that all other groups suffer from.
So you'll experience what I've experienced or what people of my race have experienced.
I doubt you personally have much experience with that.
You'd be surprised.
But he says no one, including the American University student, should be targeted with violence or harassment.
I consider it very rude. I wouldn't condone that kind of activity, but it's obviously not a crime.
As for Dumpston, now as president, she has a message to send. In her America, hate won't win.
I think back to the Maya Angelou poem, Still I Rise. Just like dust, still I rise.
Okay, so
Huntsville is the rock.
I just wanted to go back to kind of give a picture, and now we're gonna go to the next video. Some of it will overlap.
A rise in America, but one brave young woman is fighting back. After white supremacists targeted the first African-American female student body president of American University, making her life a living hell, she took them to court and won. CNN Sarah Seidner has the story. Sarah?
This is the first time Taylor Dumpston has sat down and done a television interview after suing and winning her case against the people who were tormenting her online. She actually sat down face to face with one of them and received an apology. Taylor Dumpston's life changed forever within hours of becoming an American first.
Taylor Dumpston!
Dumpston went from being elected American University's first black female student body president in its 125-year history to being plunged into a world of hate.
I was on my way to campus. I was wearing an AK jacket, and I ended up having to take it off because the hate crime literally had the letters of the sorority on the bananas, and so me wearing that button down that I had just gotten was me walking around with a target on my back.
A still unidentified person committed the on-campus hate crime, stringing up bananas with nooses with the initials of the historically black sorority Dumpston belongs to, and other racist messages. Days later, she was under attack online by neo-Nazis, spurred on by Andrew Anglin, the creator of one of the most prolific neo-Nazi websites.
He told his many, many followers to basically go get her.
A hate-filled feeding frenzy began when the website published her name, photo, contact information, and social media accounts. The Anti-Defamation League was the first to warn Dumpston. They emailed saying she had become a national target for hatred.
I was alone, home alone. The first thing I did was I closed my blinds, I locked all the doors, I turned all of the lights out, and in the way that people tell you when it's a hurricane or a tornado warning, to hide in a hallway and get small and you crouch down, that's what I did. I rocked in fetal position, sobbing and crying, and to the point where I had to take a screenshot of the email and send it to my mom and dad because I couldn't talk.
After months of online harassment, she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome. Everything from her ability to study to her ability to eat was impacted.
I was terrified. I didn't know who these people were. I didn't know where they were. I didn't know if they were coming to find me. I didn't know if they knew where I was already.
Dumpston decided to fight back. With the help of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, she sued some of the people investigators could find who trolled her. She sued the website and Anglin, its creator. What would you say to the Andrew Anglins of the world?
You picked the wrong one. And you picked somebody that wasn't going to back down.
Dumpston won her case.
To the best of our knowledge, this is the first court decision in the country that has held that online harassment can interfere with public accommodations.
The judgment equated online harassment with physical harassment.
Civil rights laws do not stop where the cloud begins.
Anglin did not respond for comment. Neither he nor a representative for his company showed up in court. The judge handed Dumpston a default $725,000 judgment. And separately, she received something almost no one does, a face-to-face apology, not from Anglin, but from one of the trolls. She agreed not to say his name or exactly the words exchanged as part of a restorative justice settlement. Online especially, people want to snap back, right? They want to clap back, they want to attack. And that's not what you did here.
I think that we always have the opportunity and the possibility to grow. And for me, it was really, really important to, even though you're a white supremacist, even though you're a neo-Nazi, even though you think like this, I don't think you're always going to think like that. And I don't think that it has to be that way.
The man who apologized was the only one who came forward. He also promised to walk away from online hate and do community service. Now, when it comes to Taylor Dumpston, she was accepted to law school. She's now a law student, but she says she doesn't disclose where because she knows she will always be a target. The hate has not completely stopped. Don?
Hate crimes are
all right, and she's absolutely right. The hate has not completely stopped. And I'm going to point out something because I wanted that video to flow. This Anglin dude, the site that he founded, they shut it down, and so he has found other let me blow this up, other avenues to exercise his isms on whoever he chooses to, and he's in hiding. So he's doing what he continues to do. And I know we're pretty sharp. Y'all have already caught on immediately why I titled it the way that I titled it, but I'm gonna get much deeper into it, my royal family. But I need to point out one thing, and the way this is working, we're gonna have to kind of go through it because I didn't mark it, so that's on me. Forgive me, but you know, I caught something, and I want to point it out to the royal family. Okay, there it is. 17. Overcoming the enemy in a complete victory. Always, my royal family. Never ever forget this, my royal family. When Yahweh speaks to you about anything or tell you something or make a promise to you, Yahweh keeps his word. Now, I have to point these things out because I'm just talking about my individual, personal experience. And there are many people in the royal family, that is their number, 17. And you may see other numbers that you already recognized. So even in this, Yah is speaking very clear to the royal family. So as we continue on, my royal family, I'm going to play the last video. It's just short and it's just necessary. But let's get into picking apart these articles. So, in this particular article, and everything will be here, I will make sure that it's pinned. And in here it says, England did not respond to the lawsuit against him in his highly trafficked neo-Nazi Daily Stormer website, even when a $725,000 judgment was entered against him. The site and another troll money that Dumpston may never see, and no one was ever identified as the hanger of the lynched bananas around the AU campus. A clear hark back to Americans' murderous, racist past and intimidation tactics. That's cowardly. We used to this stuff what the enemy do. Okay, now let's go over right here. Now y'all fully understand what I'm saying because I know that she's aware of it. So a neo-Nazi been ordered to pay $700,000 to a woman targeted in racist troll swarm. So people got on board. They got all the evidence. They did what they did to her. And in here, it said a federal judge ruled more than $750,000 should be awarded to a woman who was barraged with racist, sexist, threatening messages after a known white supremacist used his neo-Nazi website to encourage his followers to harass her. The following was handed down Friday against known white supremacist Andrew Anglin, the founder and publisher of the neo-Nazi website in the Daily Stormer, as well as one of his followers who repeatedly harassed Taylor Thomas. In her decision, now check this out. This is the part that get me. Let me see. So anyway, basically the judge is saying, okay, they were racially motivated. It was intentional and all the crap that they do. So, let's get right here to the juicy parts. Then what happens is there was another ruling. So this ruling came a day after Montana judge entered a final order that England paid $14 million to another woman he encouraged his followers to harass. And this woman was a fake Jew, because I looked into it. Do you see what I'm saying? So he did the same thing to this sister, then he did the same thing to a fake Jew. So one is awarded a little over $700,000 and the other is awarded $14 million. All right, then let's get back into this. Let's get back into this crap. So, where is it? Now, this is the part that just blows me back. But a third person, no, not that part. Where is it at? Okay, the white man in his late teens from Pacific Northwest decided he had to make amends. His attacks were far from the worst Dumpston received, but he was the only one who would take responsibility. Dumpston wanted someone, a real person, not hiding behind an avatar or sneaking around a campus, to be held accountable for the very real terror she had endured from an anonymous hater. She was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder because of the torrent of abuse she endured. She wanted some subbalance of closure. But she was also believed in, restorative justice. The chances of her and her troll to meet would create an opportunity for another human being to have a change of heart. I need him to understand this. I am a real person. I have real feelings. You have real impacts. She said, it's not just words. You're not just typing mean things. It's bigger than that, she said. She agreed not to name or shame the man publicly. She would not reveal the words they exchanged when they finally sat down face to face. She would barely talk about how it felt. It was a trying moment, she said, but it was worth it. That's why I was able to look him in his eyes. And it's because I have a true belief that people can change, Dumpston said. I have to remember myself. I have to believe that, because if I didn't, then that wouldn't be them winning. Neither England nor the man who apologized to Dumpston respond to CNN's request for comments. And let me see here. Was that it? So this deranged, they did diagnose her with something, and she shouldn't have been quick. She should have checked with her therapist, but most likely they get the enemy to be their therapist. That makes no fucking sense to me. Now, you willing to protect this motherfucker, and you don't even know the extent of what that person did. And then what you do is you want them to know how you feel. He don't care how you feel. He might have been feeling some kind of way, and you took that burden off of him, and that is not your responsibility. So they can feel comfortable and have a sense of, oh, things are good now. And trust and believe she will protect him fiercely. I would have put his name all over the place, whoever it was. Then on top of that, she failed to even see that when the judge came down with the judgment, that when I was doing my research, she wanted $1 million in judgment. And something that I know, if y'all out here suing, say you trying to get 5 million. Ask for 25 million. 9 times out of 10, you'll get what your heart desired. But she being played all the way around, because these people gonna stay on code no matter what. He did the same, this little cowardly bitch, you can see a little dude, did the same thing to a fake Jew woman, 14 million versus a little over 700,000. And then you want to be the bigger unquote person when one of these people made your life a living hell and have a 1 by 1 acting like you did some justice, and you too deranged to even realize how you've been played. That's why I put that title there. She don't fucking get it. They will never ever change. They have to be totally eliminated. This is in their nature. They're born with this stuff, and their mothers make sure they reinforce what is already in them. So, to me, I don't feel like anything was accomplished. And I'm sick of people like this. When you get an opportunity, listen to me. When you get an opportunity, you got to realize you are representing the royal family. And what she did was give it life. I would have made that motherfucker feel some kind of way. We wouldn't have never met. Ever. I want them to feel the agony that I feel. I want them to live the rest of their life uncomfortable. That's how they want us to feel. And that was the driving force, is to make her feel uncomfortable. They were all on code. So I'll leave it right there, my royal family. Render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe. Damn.